What you hiding your e-cig for? Does it got vape in it?
Hmm?
Like weed vape?
No, I don't like weed vape. No. I just want to keep on slamming it down on the table. I heard me doing it the last podcast. Every time we hit the ball, I'd be like, your turn. And pounding it down and shit, so.
So what the fuck is up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up?
Up?
Sensei and the Geek Master. Back again for round 2. We're going to change the name of the podcast here. We're not going to call it whatever the fuck we called it before. We're going to call it Talk Nerdy to Me. Because as much as our egos are huge and we like to pretend that everybody on the planet knows us, only about a dozen of you guys actually give a fuck who we are.
So I'm not even sure I give a fuck.
Right. I don't give a fuck who you are. So
I'm not sure I give a fuck, but yeah, it sounded like a good idea to me as well. Because the other shit was kind of plain. And it was unoriginal. Let's be honest. Yeah. And let's be honest. And yeah. I'm willing to admit that was my bad. And I got called out on it. And here we are.
Yep. And we actually, once again, we don't have a game plan. We don't really know what we're going to say. Like, I know a lot of people in podcasts, like, we're going to say this, we're going to say that. Me and the Geek Master here, we just kick a couple beers back, smoke a couple, and we're just going to start rambling about random shit. So just hopefully you guys enjoy it or can fucking comprehend it for that matter. Because shit might get a little slurry near the end. I don't know.
I'm going to try not to digress and get off on a tangent like I usually do, especially fucking with you.
Fucking
I thought you weren't going to blaze.
I'm going to blaze. I was saying I'm going to blaze during the podcast. I don't want to blaze before the podcast. I'm going to blaze. I mean, let's be honest. I think it's a lot more enjoyable.
So where are we going to start?
I think we're
just going to start on the flashes and get that out of the way?
Yeah, what we really do have an idea of what we're going to talk about. And the topic today is comic book TV shows. We're kind of in the era of the golden age of comic book TV shows. They all came back on right now. So we're going to critique a couple of them, see what the status is, see if we're still in the golden age right now, what's doing good, what's doing not so good. What we think is in turn for the future, what's going to happen on these shows, and kind of go from there. So, yeah,
golden age, baby.
I still think we're in it too. I do.
Golden age wouldn't that have been a Smallville?
I mean, that was only one show though. A golden age is like a plethora of shows to choose from. Back then, we had Smallville.
Yeah, Smallville,
and it was good for its time, but he didn't wear suits or really do anything Superman-y until like season 8. No, Birds of Prey for a season. You want to count that?
I didn't even watch that.
Neither did the rest of America.
I didn't watch that.
That's why I didn't make it past 6 episodes.
So maybe we are. Maybe that was the precursor to
it's the granddaddy of it. It's definitely the grandfather. That's what got us to where we're at now. And people don't want to give it that kind of credit. They want to say Arrow is. No. There would have been no Arrow if it wasn't for Smallville. Let's get that out of the way now.
And that actually had a lot of good actors. See, that was a show that had a lot of good actors, like we were talking about earlier, the precursor to Gotham.
Yes.
Which has a lot of good actors on, which does not have that captivating engagement feel to it. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
I just can't get it. Even though season 2 is definitely of Gotham is definitely way better than the first season thus far, and I'm finding it more tolerable to watch it now.
Yeah,
but I just still can't get involved with it. Not much like Smallville, where I was able to get directly into that. I don't know if it's the Batman Superman dynamic so much as more of maybe Smallville, like we're saying, is the granddaddy. It was alone by itself. It was kind of unique at the time. There weren't many other shows that I can remember off the top of my head that were around at the time. So it's kind of like that's all we had. So you had to be
to love it.
Either love it or hate it. You know what I mean? At the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now we got such a fucking plethora of shows and shit coming out. I think that kind of hurts Gotham's value to me and shit, because I always feel like there's something else I could be doing with my time.
Right. No,
there's something else I could be watching right now.
And in other shows, you have fully realized superhero dynamics, where in Gotham, it's a prequel. So that kind of has that against it, too. And then, a lot of haters will be like, you only hate it because it's a Batman show without Batman. Right, yeah. Not necessarily. Not at all,
That's
to
a
be
reason.
Honest.
Let's be honest.
But it is a hindrance, because we are beyond the prequel television
At least in Smallville, we had Superboy, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had something going on. Clark wasn't Superman, but he had powers, and he was still doing his Superman thing. He just wasn't flying and doing all the...
And we eventually had, Sluther and Zod and Phantom Zones and Green Arrows and Black Canaries.
I think that's kind of where Smallville kind of lost some points with me, was letting the whole Rosenbaum acting contract thing happen, where they had to kill Lex off and he left and do all that shit. That was a real party killer.
It was for me too, but I think they definitely made lemonades out of that lemon. I think
they did.
Season 8, 9,
I guess
10,
they did with the best they could and shit, but
because they went to the Superman Year One mentality, which I really liked, where he was wearing the trench coat with the chalk S on it, where he was like a prototype Superman. I was like, okay, I can get behind that.
My beef with the later seasons of Smallville was the portrayal of like Doomsday and then the Zod clone, and I'd have to go back and through because every time I rewatch the series, I find new stuff to nitpick about it and shit. And while it will always be a classic in my heart and love and shit, the more I watch it and go over it with a fine tooth comb, I find more ways to differentiate it from source material, which is a curse that I have, and I'm trying to get over that. I've been doing really well with it, but
you have to if you want to enjoy.
If you want to enjoy the comic book,
especially
yes.
Gotham,
And I'm learning that the hard way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's why I think I'm a lot harder on these comic book shows and comic book movies than I am on any other genre of media in general. You know what I mean? Because I'm so highly invested in the geek culture and shit like that. And these stories are what we grew up on. We're seeing them put into this is the golden age of movie media superheroes. But we've already been through the Silver Age, the New Age. We've been through all this already.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
And y'all trying to tread on old ground, old. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you're just trying to rehash shit and trying to make it more modernized. While I get it, it pisses some of us off.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? Especially, I know I'm in the minority because, or we are in the minority because we kind of take this religiously. You're just better at accepting that shit than I am. I want to bitch about it.
For the most part, trust me. You know me, I'll bitch about it. And
I want to bitch about it.
Nowadays, in the post Ben Affleck as Batman world, you're not allowed to say anything negative about anything on Facebook or any kind of social media anymore, or you're a hater and this, that, and the other. So, but
I still don't know
I still complain.
Batfleck is gonna be that awesome. I know it looks like it's gonna be awesome, and I can see that the casting was nowhere near as bad as everybody thought. But I'm still waiting to see the final product.
He got this shit. He got this shit.
I mean, I have confidence in him and shit, but from the get go, I've made it known I've never been a really huge Ben Affleck person and shit, but this might be the redeeming role for him in my eyes and shit. He might get enough points where I think, hey, let me go watch The Town or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I still need to watch that movie.
Me too.
I heard it's great and shit.
Yeah,
so,
me and you both. But back on topic. Current shows out now, so we already kind of touched on Gotham. Gotham first season, I watched it all. Loved the premiere. Then you I wouldn't say I loved the premiere. I enjoyed the premiere. Then you severely lost me. I'm not a Gotham fan. I'm going to make that severely known now. Season 1, so many things wrong with that. It's a whole other podcast. Season 2, they're doing some okay things with it. It's not as cheesy as the first season. There's not too many music montages and goofiness. There's still some piss poor acting and some horrible characterization. Oh, I shit you not, dude. There was a
music montage.
There was a goddamn music montage every fucking episode. It felt like an 80s, when they gotta fix up a house and music starts playing and by the end of the song it's all fixed. That happened in every goddamn Gotham episode. Wow. I was expecting one episode just to be nothing but a music montage. You know what I mean? Like this at one point in time. But I digress. They fixed a lot of the shit. They came up with a very generic-ass Suicide Squad called the Maniacs. I'm not behind that storyline
That's
at all.
what that was supposed to be?
Yeah, that was a very Suicide Squad-esque.
I didn't get the Suicide vibe from it. I kind of got the...
I mean, we break a bunch of criminals out of jail. You have to do our bidding. We give you a goofy name.
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't even put it together like that.
That's all that shit.
Fuck. I mean, it wasn't like it was like an epic idea or anything like that. You know what I mean? It just didn't.
And it's already kind of faded away. You did the Joker thing. Great actor, by the way. Before anybody flames me, I think he's a tremendous actor.
I think it was a waste of a character.
Him.
I think that's one of honestly the best things Gotham had going for it was that character.
But I think a lot of people had a problem too with the storyline behind him.
Mm-hmm.
So killing him off, I think, was a good idea. It had a lot of shock value that anything can happen in this. You guys don't know what's going on in this. You kind of have to trust us. Yeah. I don't. You bunch of fuckers on Fox. I don't trust Fox at all when it comes to sci-fi or comic book related shit. But that was an interesting twist because I did think that was
still holding Firefly against them.
Forever and a day. We'll give you back Prison Break at a new revival show after we gave it a season's finale.
Let's not get this man started.
A goddamn movie. Now we're giving him another show. But Firefly, no second season. But yeah, wow.
Let's not get him started.
Don't get me started. But Gotham's a solid C for me right now. If I'm going to grade it in the old school academic scale of A through F, it's definitely a solid C. It's nothing amazing. It's average at best. It's campy noir that doesn't need to be campy noir. Penguin's completely fucking overrated. A couple episodes of Bates Motel and copy Norman Bates, and now you got the Penguin. Oh my god, it's such a brilliant adaptation. No, it's not. It's fucking Norman Bates. He even has a hard-on for his fucking mom like Norman Bates does.
Right.
It's not the Penguin to me. He's not amazing. Edward Nygma's horrible. You made him Two-Face with the whole split personality shit he got going on now.
I'm with you on that. The Catwoman, Selena Kyle thing is kind of
talking like a 1920s newsie at all fucking times.
Right.
But
coming from somebody who bailed out on the first season. Not even like
you never got caught up, did you?
No, I didn't. I jumped right into season 2 and just tried to jump on the train and just try to pick up what I could along the way. Did some YouTubing, did some Googling, and catch up on a couple of details and
plot
shit.
points or what have you.
Yeah, but didn't take my time to watch any of the other shit. And I would say that while I gave it a failing grade last year, I still haven't really upped my grade much. I'd give it a D, which is a passing grade. You know what I mean? A high D, a low C. I would have, when I gave it a low C, it would have been centered around the Jerome character.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I kind of like what they're doing with Jim Gordon, trying to give him a darker feel to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I told myself coming into the second season of Gotham is that I was going to get over the whole Batman prequel shit. You know, try to just take the story for what it is and evaluate the story on the merits of the universe that they're trying to create. And I still couldn't get into it. I'm still struggling to get into it. Like, I'll watch it. I'll be on my phone. I'll be, doing whatever other shit, half-ass paying attention to it. It hasn't pulled me in and shit like the other shows. Like, Arrow earned that for me, even though it's kind of, right now it's doing pretty good keeping my attention and shit. But you know how like season 3, you were kind of feeling yourself drifting away and shit.
Absolutely, it's pretty very nice and PC.
Right, and then
season 3 sucked dick. I'll be the guy to say it.
It really
season
did.
3 sucked dick.
I just don't want to get into that fucking. You know how the motherfucking trolls be.
You
know how the trolls are.
But Gotham, all in all, is a D for you. I think I'm a little high right now, so I think C's me being generous. I'm in a good mood. But I will say, me not liking Gotham, me not liking most of the characterizations aside, this might be my favorite live-action Alfred. When he bitch-smacked Selena and said, "You get the fuck away from Master Bruce, or I will fuck your shit up."
I didn't really like Alfred at first, and he has his moments, but
he's a bit hardcore. I kind of like it.
I think he's still growing on me.
Yeah.
I think. I like the actor
when he bitch smacked Selena.
I mean that was funny.
I cheered.
I didn't cheer, but it was funny.
Women, I do not advocate grown men beating 16-year-old minors, but that very implication is what I like it so much. Like, this isn't his kid. It's a minor. It's a female. He didn't flinch.
And we've never seen this side of Alfred before, so I think that's why it's kind of foreign. Smashing computers like a jealous girlfriend.
Fair enough.
You know what I'm saying? And telling the kid to shut the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like, stop being a bitch or whatever, like, not in them words, but, kind of the message he's tried to put on to him when he's teaching him how to fight last season and shit like that. So, this is kind of it's just new, and in the comics, they're doing kind of a different characterization with Alfred as well, too, man, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird, you know what I mean? So, I don't know how I feel about it, even though I'm not giving it a negative grade. I think I agree with you with saying that Alfred is one of the high points of the show. So that's decent. Yeah, Bullock. I like Bullock, man, and I like the character that Marina plays. And then the Barbara chick, she's a cute actor. You know what I'm saying? She plays crazy, pretty nice and shit. And I just don't see how they can have all these nice, gelled parts put together that don't gel together. At least in my eyes, I know it's a very well rated show, even with the crappy rating systems that we have available now and shit. It's still a pretty well-rated show.
Because Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
Batman.
Exactly. I mean, he has such a dedicated following, he can survive mediocrity better than anybody else. You know what I mean?
It was a bit of an eye-opener for me that I'm not as much as a Batman fanboy as I thought I would be. That you could still give me a subpar Batman-related product, and I'll still be like, no. I'm not looking at it through Batman-tinted glasses.
I think that's an honest Batman fan, though, because like me, you also have your standards for what you want when you want from your fucking dude, from your man. You know, I mean, this is who you've invested many years and energy and money and all types of resources into. You know, you have your expectations, and when you see it getting fucking, you'll be the first motherfucker like, this is bullshit.
Right.
All right. Only reason I'm watching is because I'm a goddamn sensei.
Right. Felt that way when I was playing Arkham Knight too. Like, I gotta beat it. I'm the fucking sensei.
Yeah, my son kind of felt the same. He actually loved that game. Just not to get up too far point, man. But he's a kid though.
I wanted to so fucking bad.
Yeah, he loves it. He's like, well, you gonna buy some new skins for it? They got a new DLC, and I'm like, I'm not buying shit for this game, son.
No. Fuck no, I'm not.
You feel free to take your birthday money, Christmas money, your allowance, whatever. Go buy it. I'll download it for you.
Right.
It ain't coming on my wallet.
I ain't even giving it to you as a gift. Like, it ain't happening.
But I can definitely, I don't know. I'm going to keep watching. Like I said, it's good enough to where I'll keep a blind eye on it. But as far as priority goes, I DVR and I watch it when I get time.
Absolutely.
I don't sit down in front of TV. Like, the only shows I actually sit down in front of TV to watch at this point is Arrow, Flash, Shield, and Supernatural. Mm-hmm. And those, because they all come blocked in together. Like, Flash comes on, Arrow's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes on, then Arrow comes on, and then Supernatural comes on and shit. And I watch them shows. So Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm pretty blocked up. Everything else, I just catch on the DVD.
Gotham is definitely not appointment TV.
Yeah,
like, you don't make it a
right
point to be there. But next show, then. I think we covered Gotham good.
Right.
Let's go in order of when they come out, I guess. Tuesday, so Flash. Something we kind of touched on and made us fire up this podcast. I won't be sitting here smoking and fucking bullshit with you. Might as well fucking record it.
Right.
But Flash's season premiere left me a bit, like, I liked it, but it felt like something was missing. And I think my issue with it was it didn't feel like a progression to another season. It felt like season one continued. And what I'm a little bit worried about, and I don't think it'll be the case, mind you, but what I'm worried about is the heroes dynamic, where season one was so good about having to change the future and that plot point that they use it again for season 2 and 3, the same plot device. And in Flash season 2, we're already seeing a mystery with a speedster, and it almost feels exactly the same as season 1. And not much has changed other than the fact that Barry's acting like a bit of a dick, and I kind of get why, but it's something I don't want to stick around now because I don't need an angsty fucking supervillain or superhero rather. I already get that enough with Arrow, which has kind of changed. We'll get into that. But with Batman and everything else, Flash is supposed to be upbeat. 6 fucking months has passed. Caitlyn's already over the fact her fiance's dead. Fucking Iris is already over the fact that her future fiance's dead. You're the only one sitting here pissing and moaning about it. You're the goddamn Flash. Get the fuck over it. I don't want to see mopey fucking
And none
Flash.
of that other shit makes sense that they would be over. I mean, everybody deals with loss differently, so I don't want to say that, hey, man, they should be fucked up for 2 years after this, whatever. You know, everybody, some people, you know, internalize that shit, they lock it up. Who knows, maybe Caitlyn got therapy, you know what I'm saying? They don't allude to any of these things, but, you know, she's got money. It's not like she couldn't have, you know, went and got the problem taken care of. But the 6-month jump kind of irritated me about the review, about the season 1 premiere and shit. Just for the simple fact that, like you kind of alluded to, there's so much that could have happened in that 6-month period of time that they didn't even explain, flesh out, or nothing. I also have a problem with how you were saying it was a continuation. It kind of felt like a continuation of season 1, yet they just skip over the fact that Eddie created a temporal paradox with his death.
Yeah.
And that there should be some serious implications from that.
Right.
You know what I mean? He just majorly affected the timeline going forward. That's a major change. You take thought, like whether he never existed, you know, we've been debating how this temporal paradox is supposed to work continuity-wise and shit. But the fact that he just took out a major player who's been fucking tampering with the timeline, now shit is different now that we've got a hole going to another universe opened up. There's some other implications going on. Now, like I also said, we might be getting some kind of explanation to this further down the line. We got 20-some episodes.
And
in the
with
season
Legends
shit,
of Tomorrow
you know what I mean?
coming up and shit.
So I'm sure at some point they're going to get to explaining some of this shit, or there's going to be some other shit popping up. But as it stands right now, it's just kind of frustrating to just see them glossing over so much shit.
Business as usual,
Yeah,
so fast.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just glossing over shit. And it's like, wait a minute, what about this? What about that?
Yes.
What about this? What about that? You know, we can play that game all day long and shit.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of what from a writing standpoint, what makes it frustrating for me. Then on top of that, you've got the freak of the week shit, man. And that's kind of... That formula, to me, is like the flashback formula that they use on Arrow, which I was hoping they were going to go away from. We'll touch on that later and shit as well. But kind of like that being the plot device, like that shit gets old. You know what I mean? It's cool to use as a plot device. You know, when you first coming out, you're trying to get attention. You're trying to tell a story, yada, yada, yada. But y'all are getting paid bank. Y'all should be able to come up with more creative ways to tell a story than just reuse, like you're saying, a continuation. It seems like it's recycled shit.
But I mean, to be objective to that, I've always wanted that when I was a kid, and I was always thought like a live action Batman show would work. How would I do it? It is comic book, because comic book is very freak of the week, but it's freak of the month. It might be continued a bit because, you know, you can't cram as much as you can in an episode in a comic book, so it might take 3 months, but, you know, it's always a wheelhouse of villains coming at you, a rotating wheelhouse.
And those are usually not the issues you collect though.
I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, look how they did with Captain Cold. You brought him back 4 times in season 1, but you got a lot of character progression out of that. I got a lot out of that shit.
That's not a freak of the week type deal though, and that's an ongoing story, and that's what makes that shit.
Season 2, what if we see the same ones we saw season 1, but we see their story continued? If you keep on doing that as the show goes on, that's comic book shit.
We're gonna get new freaks though. If we were gonna use the same freaks from like the same Rogues Gallery, not the same Rogues Gallery, the same exact, because of course they got to bring in new villains like Mirror Master, other things like that. But like I would like to see Grodd come in and get some development, which we probably won't. I mean, I
think we will.
They keep saying we will.
Who else do we have left though?
But you know how the movie shit goes. You know what I mean? So there's always the possibility that the WB puts the fucking lockdown on the Grodd bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. I mean, I would like to see him come back and get some serious fucking progression, because that one episode last year was kind of you know what I'm saying? And he needs some more development. And there are so many things that if we're going to do a season 1 progression, there are a lot of loose ends from last season they could tie up, like the Weather Wizard thing and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know we're going to get more progression with Captain Cold, because, he's involved in Legends of Tomorrow, and he's going to be involved. They're paying him lots of money. He's a big face. He brings viewers to the...
And let's just say, Wentworth Miller owns Captain Cold better than
he does.
Most live-action supervillains I've seen.
He does. I like him a lot. He's real smooth in that role, and him and Grant Gustin have a very good chemistry.
Yes. Wentworth Miller, he's gay, by the way, and I would go gay with him. If he propositioned me,
gay, I didn't know.
I'd fuck the shit.
Heard it here first.
Man
crush of the week.
If he gave me that Captain Cold routine, I'd be like, don't let Heatwave find out about this, buddy. This shit might go down.
You are such a dirty-minded motherfucker.
What can I say? But he owns that shit. Like, he owns that shit. And I think we'll see a lot of the villains come back in season 2, and we'll get a lot of progression. We haven't seen the Rogues come together as an official group yet, so we still have that to look forward to. We have a lot to look forward to. They brought Patty in. Patty Spivot.
Nice little cute face. Like I said, I like how they're setting her up. And I think, how you're kind of not digging the Flash attitude, Barry's attitude right now. I think Patty's going to kind of pull him off that track as the season goes on.
I can see that.
Because they're going to try to develop that relationship. You know, I don't like the prospect of the new love triangle coming in, because you know how we had the triangle last year and shit with Eddie, Iris, and Barry. This year it's going to be Barry, Iris, and Patty as the triangle. You know what I mean?
But that's comic book shit. You can't get away from that. We always see it in comic books. It goes back
to the formula thing. Like, we've already seen this. You're just dressing it up and trying to make it different. It doesn't work for me. It's more like they can syndicate it, I guess, that way and shit. But I get bored with that shit. It's like it's basically the same song and dance using different choreography.
But if it exists in the comics, I think it's being faithful.
And I just want to point out that I patented that analogy. I made that up myself.
Every time you use it, you got to pay Geek Master.
Right. Every time you say that, I need to get paid.
Oh fuck. I'm in a bowl real quick before we continue. Flash, it's great. No, seriously.
I dig it. I'm digging it. And they're setting some shit up, but they're like going back to the premiere, the Atom Smasher thing, man. Kind of Atom Smasher in the comic. Don't want to keep doing the source. I hate to be that guy going back to source material shit. There's a lot of material to draw on. Is basically what I come away from that feeling like. So for them to do him the way they did, throw the Earth 2 spin on it, he shows up, there's really no explanation what's going on other than he's working for Zoom. He makes Flash his bitch. Then he gets trapped in the most obvious trap on fucking Earth, dies and goes, Zoom made me do it. And it's like, the throwaway character, like that could have been a reoccurring character to come back and shit.
Especially since he becomes a hero later on.
Yeah, in the comics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can end up he can end up being a part of this TV Justice League type thing. And he's a no name at the same time.
So they're not going to use him in the movies. Yeah, so you're going to have carte blanche to use him.
And I mean a no name actor at that, so it'll be easy to keep him contracted.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it would be it's a win-win. Like I wasn't really digging how they handled that.
But on the positive side, balling on a CW budget. Special effects are on fucking point for Atom Smasher.
I don't know. He looked kind of fake.
Every once in a while, but I mean, I have to give him that. You're not even balling on a Fox budget.
The Flash special effects, all their special effects for the Flash character are tits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, the little lightning thing and him doing the fucking arm tornadoes and all that shit was grand. The only thing that looked like, oh man, come on, was Atom Smasher and shit. when he was increasing his size and mass or whatever.
Yes.
But there were a couple of instances where it didn't look so bad or whatever. So I mean, but overall, they have done magnificent with the. You can tell CW's pumping some money into it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's their highest rated show, so they just will benefit them to do
they're getting a little bit more bread. It makes sense to spend a little bit more bread.
They're not getting ABC network, NBC, ABC, CBS money, and you're still making it look like a top tier, television show, and I commend them for that shit. So far, Flash for me. Still A-.
I give it an A. I give it a solid A and shit.
I'm a little worried. I hope it hits new ground. And you bring Jay Garrick in, and I instantly love him. And that was good shit.
Jay Garrick.
But
the whole not having speed thing.
It's gonna get to me. You better get it quick because I want to see my boys zooming around. We know
you brought him on here and like that really like as soon as he said he didn't have any speed, I said, "Oh, what the fuck?"
But it makes sense because if you want this to be about Flash's adventures, you can't have somebody else babysitting him. So for a while, you do kind of have to neuter Jay Garrick. So it's about Barry. But he better get his shit quick.
As long as this is setting up some shit later on in the season to where we actually see Jay get his power back, a la getting speed lent to him by Barry or some shit.
Yes.
Maybe some kind of Speed Force feed or whatever. We know Wally's going to show up. Maybe, that has some kind of factor into it.
He's casted and everything. So
I already know. He's confirmed.
Okay.
He's going to show. I'm saying that maybe he has something to do with Jay. I don't know how they would tie it together. So maybe Wally has something to do with it. Maybe Earth 2 Wally, whatever. We'll see. There's a lot of I'm really excited about.
I was about to say, what you're talking about, I'm getting a lot more excited for it. Fuck the A- shit. It's an A. We got so much shit coming. Never mind. What am I saying?
Like, I'm really excited about the potential for the season. It's just starting off a lot like the last season did. Like, once the Reverse Flash arc actually started getting rolling, that's when it became a dope ass show. Like right now, they're just setting it up and they're rolling into it, and then like I'm thinking maybe episode 5, 6, maybe 7, we'll start getting into it and shit, and they'll start like actually having some real story developments. Maybe Vandal might show up by then and shit. You know what I mean?
True.
Who knows?
Damien Dark is coming to Flash too, I guess.
Is he?
Yeah. They're spreading him out.
I like that actor, dude. He was on Justified and shit. He plays that role very well, Damien Dark and shit. He played the last role I saw.
He's enjoying himself. It's not dark, evil villain. It's not having fun.
Very meticulous, poised villain. You know what I mean?
The only thing is
ethical villain.
This might be a bit weird. But maybe it's just me, but it seems like his suit's like 3 times too small for him. Does he seem uncomfortable in that suit, or is that just me?
No.
Like, he always feels very wooden and stiff to me. Yeah?
I think that's more of his portrayal of the character, And it doesn't really look like it's like bodysuit or nothing. It was like he look like wearing spandex and shit.
Damien Darkman!
One thing I'm kind of confused about, I guess we can just segue into the Arrow from there. One thing I'm kind of confused about, is he a wizard? You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like, I did brief research on the character because I'm not too well versed in the Green Arrow mythos and all that.
Which he is not a Green Arrow villain.
It's not really a Green Arrow villain. Yeah, he's a DC villain or whatever and shit. Batman more specifically and shit.
Go figure, Arrow.
Did he? Yeah, right. Did he have wizard powers or whatever the fuck it is? Was he a metahuman at any point?
All right, go Sensei brain. He first appeared, and I think it was the first time we saw Talia. He kidnapped Talia, and I believe Dick Grayson and Ra's al Ghul came to him. It's a lot like the Batman the Animated Series episode, Demon something. It's a very popular fucking Batman story, but I'm paraphrasing it, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Damien Dark kidnapped both Dick Grayson and Talia, and Batman had to save her, and that's their first meeting. And that's when Ra's al Ghul reveals that he knows who he is. I'm gonna sidetrack. I don't think he had power. No,
I was saying he did this without powers.
I do believe he did not have powers, but I don't feel 100% enough to co-sign that right now.
Yeah, see, I need to do a little bit.
He was rivaling to take over the League of Shadows, which that's something Arrow touched on, which is absolutely correct. He was trying to take it over from Ra's al Ghul. That shit's correct. So I think they are taking liberties and changing the character a lot, but it's fine. I'm cool with that. Because he's a throwaway character, and Damien Dark, I don't think he's appeared in the comics since the fucking 70s or 80s.
Yeah, he wasn't like a real integral part
at all. But they're mixing him with Hive, which he never was a part of, but I'm okay with as well. Because
and for the purposes of the show, they can really use something like that.
You can do whatever you want with them. Yeah, and you make him seem the way you build him up and build Hive up from season 2 and 3 respectively, you make him seem so much more of an important character than he already is. So now you can use him to your own devices, and I'm fine with that.
And I'm totally fine. It's different than using a character like Ra's al Ghul, because especially using a storyline.
Somebody's so important
already established, well integral. It has many stories, one of which was used for the basis of the story for season 3.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it a whole different to where you just take like a lesser known villain and then you just make him something different in your show to center around, because then people can't really draw the comparisons to Batman as much, even though he is a Batman villain and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the MO of this show. They just kind of like feed off of Batman and just make it a Green Arrow but Batman show.
Absolutely.
It kind of gets the rep for that, and it's kind of well deserved, you know what I mean? So at this
I defended
point,
it up until last season. Now I see it and I can't argue with it.
I kind of defend it too, especially in season 2 with the Deathstroke arc or whatever, you know what I mean? Because Deathstroke's kind of a DC villain. He's more of a Teen Titans villain than anything. So it was kind of appropriate, you know what I mean, as far as the whole Batman comparisons go. But I'm really digging Damien Dark. Just that's the point I was basically trying to get to. I'm really enjoying it.
We'll segue in that to Arrow. And we already kind of gave some of our misgivings away.
We didn't like season 3.
It was a long segue, yeah. But,
we've been on that.
Successful segue. Rather lengthy, but we did it. We got through it. Didn't like season 3 of Arrow. We're going to get that out of the way now. Huge fan of the show. Loved the first season. Absolutely adored the fucking second season. That was some fine fucking TV programming right there. Season 3 came.
One of the best seasons of superhero TV today.
Ever. And only until Flash came up that something could actually fucking rival it.
Just to stay on that just for a second, what was your favorite moment from that season?
From Flash?
No, from Arrow season 2.
Ooh.
Your favorite singular moment. I know mine right off the top. When
Moira dying would have to be mine.
Mine is when Oliver came in and seen Slade sitting in his living room after all the time, and he just turned around like, "What's up, Mr. Queen?" Shook his head, and he's just looking at him like, "Oh fuck! I just shit myself! I just shit myself!" Right?
Because you have that shit where he's in your private space, so that takes away so much more.
And he's got your mom all up riding on his dick and shit. They drinking wine and shit. He's like, "Oh, what's up, Oliver? Nice to meet you." You like, "Oh shit, Lord help me." That was my favorite movie for that. But yes, go on.
For me, it was Moira, because you have the classic, the Gwen Stacy falling off the bridge or Jason Todd dying. Yeah, it's something big for that moment in the hero, and it was Stephen Amell's portrayal of how he took it, passing out almost. It's not indicative of a strong superhero.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed a bit wimpy, but it seemed real relatable, because your mom died in front of you and it's your fault. Like, he couldn't take it. Motherfucker passed out. Shit was real. And it was such a powerful scene in Manu Bennett's portrayal. I'm mispronouncing his first name probably, but his portrayal of Deathstroke when he killed his mom, and that whole scene, it was so powerful. It was tense. You don't know what's going to happen. It was dope.
I think that theme was what really made Arrow dope in a lot of ways, because for me, at the end of season 1, one of the things that immediately set that whole season apart from any other superhero show that I've ever seen in my life, animated or not, was that they let the bad guys' plan actually succeed. You know, the city got fucking caved in. You know what I'm saying? All that shit. People died. The hero did not save the day. In other words,
absolutely.
And I thought that was so epic from a storytelling standpoint, to see a hero fail and having to deal with the repercussions. Even though it could have been a lot worse, it was still bad. You know what I mean? He did what he could and shit. He got whatever. He got the bad guy. He got the dude out of the way and shit. But the city still. What was the name of the event? I'm trying to pull it up, but I can't get it. Anyway, then they go into season 2, and like you say, he killed his mom. That was another moment. Like, he couldn't save his mom and shit. And that's what pulls you in. You know what I mean? It's what gets you really invested. Like, fuck, you feel that shit. Like, he's watched his mom die, he passed out and shit. And it was concepts like that while we were going into season 3, like, oh my God, they're about to kill us this year, man.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
we got the Atom, we got all kind of shit going on.
We got all kinds of shit going on, and it was just such an abysmal disappointment. And for me, from the jump, when they killed Sarah off and shit, you know what I mean? Just
such a fan favorite character.
Yeah, just right off rip, killed her in the first episode and shit. And I was like, oh, and that's why I'm like, we might be in for some crazy. I mean, I thought it was great for a cliffhanger at the time, but as you're like, then you start thinking about, like, why would you kill our character off? And then and the
way they treated it afterwards, it was such it was a cool murder mystery, almost like Watchmen, where
and then how they try to set the and then the writers even come out after that saying how they didn't have any idea what to do with Thea's character at that point in time. It's kind of how that just came about and shit. Like, we don't know what to do with you, so we'll just throw you in the middle of some plot that killed Sarah that ties to Ra's al Ghul and has to, you know how they try to link everything together, spiderweb.
Which they did need to, because out of all the plot lines in season 3, her and Merlin, I actually kind of enjoyed that whole dynamic. You changed
the training and all that shit.
Yeah, it was such a likable character that you didn't need to throw in that bullshit, brainwashed, I kill your sister.
It was really odd to hear them say they didn't know what to do with her character and shit.
Right, yeah, when they had something so good.
And they didn't kill her off, though. Like, they didn't know what to do with her, but they kept her around. They were just trying to find shit to do with her.
Yeah.
So that kind of struck me as weird. That's why when I first watched the season premiere for Arrow Season 3, at the end, everybody's doing their speculation on who might be dead or whatever, I immediately thought it was either, what was my first thoughts? It was Thea or Felicity. I think were my first two initial thoughts.
But lucky for us, Felicity survived and gave us the greatest moments of season 3, he said with sarcasm and despair in his voice. But yeah, it wasn't her. It was.
And I don't think she's going to be the one that's dying this season. Though.
I don't either.
I thought she was going to die after the 6-month jump, but then as one of our beautiful admins pointed out, her mother's been contracted to. Well, not the actor who plays her mother's been contracted to make several appearances on season 3.
Yeah.
So, them killing her off doesn't make a lot of sense.
Unless she's coming in mourning, but that's a jump. You know what I mean?
For more than one episode, I mean, she could show up once before she dies, and then show up one to mourn. But then after that, it's just like, why are you here, bitch?
Right,
like you have no contributions other than your titties. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Unless that arc comes up soon while she's still alive.
Right.
This
They would have to jam it in there. So I bring that up just to say that it sounds very improbable that she'll die. And then I thought about Thea. I forget why I debunked her, but she no longer seems like a realistic option to me. Other people were throwing around like Roy, and that doesn't make sense to me either, just considering that they went through the whole trouble of faking his death. Oh, that's the reason why they killed Thea last season. Why would they turn around and kill her again? They just went through the trouble of stabbing her.
I got one word for you.
What?
Sarah.
Died?
How many times she died and they just killed her off again?
Well, they just brought her back. Yeah. I mean, they're going through a lot of trouble to bring her back for the Legends of Tomorrow.
But she's died twice so far, so I'd say.
But if she's dead in 6 months, would that actually be after Legends of Tomorrow, or would that be before it?
Good question. We don't know.
That whole 6-month jump at the end of that episode confused the fuck out of me personally, because when Flash opens up, they make it known it's a 6-month jump. Mm-hmm. Did they make it known it was a 6-month jump? So the both shows that it's 6 months jump.
Yeah. Okay. All right, get into season 4. Yeah, it begins with them 6 months later, living in urban bliss. Yeah. Okay. While
see, I missed that because I was in the middle of an argument while this was premiering, and I was trying to half watch it. Like, bitch, shut up.
Yeah. And then they did foreshadowing at the end, and another 6 months later, what will come later for both seasons.
Right, which I did like that. So it was another 6 months. So we're talking 1 year down the line. So we're talking a season finale type deal then.
Possibly.
So we're talking at the end of this season, somebody's gonna be biting the dust and shit.
Which gives us ample enough time to get.
So that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. So then that also opens up the timetable to who it could be, because now I'm on the Detective Lance bandwagon, and I only jumped on that wagon for the simple fact of his affiliation with the Hive, and it seems like that his arrangement with Damien is going to put him in a precarious situation where he's going to have to make a decision about disobeying a direct order from the Hive that goes against his daughter or some shit like that. Like he's going to be like, kill the canary or some crazy shit, just as an example. And he's going to be like, no, fuck you, and that's going to get him killed. I don't know why Flash would be there about it, other than just to comfort his friend and shit.
Which would have what it seemed like too.
Which is kind of what, because if it was like, also, I think if it was like Felicity, Barry wouldn't have left, and he wouldn't have missed the funeral. So that also kind of eliminates her in my mind as well.
But he said, I wanted to be here, but Zoom.
I was fighting Zoom and shit, but he would have made time for Felicity.
I don't know, Zoom's causing shit.
I think he hit that shit off screen.
He could have, she wouldn't even know about it if he was slick about it.
Right! Zip, zip! But yeah, if that's really like a season finale thing, that really does. It could be Sarah, but once again, I don't think anybody who's faked to death or has actually died and been brought back is going to be on there. the way Diggle is acting, he's kind of got me pissed off the way Barry has you acting and shit. Diggle acting like a real bitch right now.
Yeah.
Can't get over this shit from season 3. Man, you kidnapped my wife, my kid. Bro, the fucking city was about to go get eviscerated with fucking biological weaponry or whatever the fuck they was doing and shit. I did what I had to fucking do, and your wife is okay. I didn't let anything happen to her. Your baby is okay. I just had to put on the act. I know it was traumatic for you. I had to lie to you. Yeah. Get the fuck over it.
Right. And my thing
Jesus Christ.
The actual bitch that got kidnapped doesn't have a problem with it. She's
right.
She's like, it's wartime. Shit happens.
Right. We do the same shit. You mad because your friend did it to you? Like, we were fighting the war, dude. He had his sister dying on one hand. You know, he had this motherfucker over here trying to destroy the city if he didn't comply and do this, whatever. He put on a fucking show, and it was a damn good show.
Yep.
You know, outside of it being a stolen storyline in the first fucking place.
It wasn't actually a good show.
You know what I mean? He put on, as far as the strategy of what he tried to employ, it was a great work of art. And because of it, hundreds of thousands, I don't know how many people are in Starling, a.k.a. Star City now, but he saved a great deal of fucking people.
Yes.
And, okay, he had to kidnap your wife along the way.
But did you die?
Yeah, exactly. Did she die?
But did you die? Bitch, you fine.
I wish he would say that shit since he's being on the funny tip now. He's trying to get more of the funny, like, but did she die though?
Right. Why you tripping, bro? Did she die? Gonna make me hit you with a boxing glove arrow.
That is funny as fuck.
But season 4, season premiere, shocked me with how good it was because it did everything it needed to do. You needed to reboot the show. You did that. You gave me, Starling City became Star City. It's a whole new dynamic. It's a whole new feel. Green Arrow gets to start over. Arrow became Green Arrow, which was a huge transition. And I hated that idea that Green Arrow spawned off of Arrow and they think it's two different people at first. Like, I really hated it. But when he explained it, it made sense because Arrow came out the gate killing people. Very hardcore vigilante. And you can't get hope and good fucking feelings and positive vibes off a fucking murderous Punisher-like vigilante.
Batman, Robin Hood.
You're right. It almost makes sense that it's a brand new person. He just takes on the moniker. But they did a fantastic job doing that. You gave me a wonderful fucking villain, Damien Dark, which we already talked about. Fucking phenomenal. You set up a good threat for the entire season with Hive and the personal connections that Diggle has with it, with his dad dying and shit.
His brother.
Brother, yeah, my bad. Excuse me. I'm fucked up, y'all. I'm fucked up. But you did everything you need to do. You washed the bad taste out of my mouth with season 3. You gave me some promise for season 4. I actually liked the flashbacks, and you handled it very beautifully with the cinematography with it all. When he said, "I am Green Arrow," then instantly he free fell and he was skydiving to the island. That was a nice fucking shot. That's a movie quality shot right there. That I was like, you guys fucking mean business. You're trying to bring this shit back, and I'm feeling it. I didn't feel Thea is Speedy too much. She had really cheesy lines right out the gate. Like, haha, this is
hilarious.
Yeah, that is too, yeah.
I thought it was so funny when she broke that dude's arm, dude. She said, "You think you in charge?" Wow! Right. I lost it. Oliver's like, "What are you doing, bitch?" I'm like, "No, that was a gangster."
Right.
She's like, "Do something now, man."
But did you die? She's the modeler for the show now.
I did like that. And I'm really excited about the potential for Arrow this year. Despite the season 3 catastrophe, I have a lot of hope for season 4 going forward because, we still got to find out what happened to Ray. We know he's still out there.
Yeah.
He's just like the size of an atom running around. He's jumping on Felicity's desk right now like, "Hey!" That was some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids shit.
Don't eat me, Mom! Like, yeah, I see that shit too. Yeah. Which, man, poor Brandon
So that's
Routh.
funny. And then, of course, Constantine is going to be showing up here in a couple episodes because it looks like they're about to go resurrect Sarah here soon and shit. So
First episode of November, I believe. November 3rd, 4th, something like that. But it's the first Thursday.
Awesome. So,
November,
yeah, I'm excited for that. Then, of course, Vandal will be showing up. Then, of course, we got the Flash crossover. So there's a lot of things lined up in the first half of the season.
And Vandal Savage is a huge DC villain, which I'm surprised they got the rights for. I'm surprised
I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah, because they probably couldn't think of a way to fit him in Justice League because you have so many you're already going to be juggling.
And by the time they do figure out, this will be behind them.
Yeah, but Vandal is it's really big, and that's good for us fans.
He's a really underrated villain.
Absolutely,
he's a really underrated villain.
So he's big. He's actually going to be big in the
I like how he's making a kind of resurgence
Me too, yeah.
Not only in the TV form, but also in the comics.
I was about to say, yeah, he's kind of in Superman, and he might be the one behind the whole truth.
I'm actually digging that.
So.
Yeah, I'm actually digging that. That's one of the few gleaming points of the whole truth arc and all that shit. It's like, oh damn, Vandal Savage is behind it. Now I'm interested, but it's coming like fucking 3 months, 4 months after the fact. You know what I'm saying?
After you gave me Anonymous 2.0 as a villain,
and Hordor Roots and whatever, but
a Wrath Demon. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So. I'm gonna go ahead. We got 15 minutes. We're making it an hour. I don't give a fuck. All other podcasts are an hour. We're some long-winded fuckers. I'm gonna get some weed. Fucking wrap up the Green Arrow, and we'll segue to something else.
So basically, the Green Arrow show has been it's has a lot of potential. Feeling the direction it's going in. Can't wait to see how it all turns out. I give it myself a solid A as everything else. I just see with they're kind of correcting the ship going on from the last season. They're getting a lot of things corrected. Although Felicity is still kind of annoying a little bit, but she's not as annoying. For me, Diggle's kind of more annoying right now.
But I was surprised they actually had her crying already in episode 2. Yeah. I get it, she was firing, and let me a little inside info. I got terminated this week, so I kind of felt her. That hit close to home. I get it, but I'm like, really already? If you're trying to rebrand this character as less annoying, and I love the actress to fucking death. Sorry, Colonel needs me real quick. I got a Metal Gear. Hey, it's actually another fellow podcaster. Hey, Golden, I'm doing a podcast real quick. I hit you back in fucking T-minus 15 minutes. All right, brother. You made the podcast. You know the deal. Whatever I was saying, yeah, if you're trying to rebrand Felicity, you already got her crying and shit. I don't get that. But Arrow for me, A-, cautiously still optimistic, but
very cautiously optimistic. But I like where it's going.
I like where it's going. Heroes Reborn.
You haven't been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, I'm still behind on season 2.
Great show. Anybody not watching it, check it out.
Fair enough.
Heroes, man. Heroes. It's going to be hard to have this discussion with you without spoiling it.
I'm a little behind on that. Just basically, I can only go off the premiere, which I actually enjoyed.
Give me your thoughts just on the premiere itself. What you enjoyed, what you kind of expected coming into it, I guess, or maybe what you expect going forward. I guess the expectations coming in are kind of moot. So, kind of your reaction to it, and what do you expect to see in these couple episodes that you haven't seen? Because I can tell you,
fair enough. Kind of worries me, but we say that about everything.
You know, I'm old man Cassius. You know,
right. I was surprised how tied into old lore and continuity it was, because it was really kind of pitched to us as anybody can jump into it shit. And I think if you didn't see the previous show, you would not only appreciate it as much as I think I would, or any other fan would, but you really wouldn't get what the fuck's going on unless you watch the show up until the end, to be honest with you, up until the very last fucking episode. But that aside, I actually kind of like it for it. That's a plus in my fucking book, because you made it very accessible, I think, to new fans and old fans. I really dug that. I really like the casting and a lot of the stories. I know this one.
Who was your favorite character? Ooh. Just initially. What
I don't know about necessarily character, but plot lines. I'm digging, and I don't know his name. I call him Tom Holland Jr. because he just reminds me of not only the actor Tom Holland, but
it's not Luke. It's
he's
Tommy,
so Peter Parker. Like, he even has a bully that's picking on him and shit. He's so fucking Peter Parker.
Well, that dynamic changes almost immediately.
Right, but what else is there? I'm the antithesis to popular internet opinion, but I like the Japanese storyline.
Oh yeah, you're the antithesis to mine.
Everybody hates it. They're in a fucking video game and she was fucking shit up. Like, what is not to fucking love?
Because what the fuck purpose does that have?
Badass.
Like, if that's the only application of your power, how are video games going to be that relevant to anything else?
I've seen it.
Other than getting your father. Once you complete that storyline, what else can you use your power for?
I've seen the shit in Infamous Second Son, where one of the powers is, and you get it, is you can control digital airwaves, TV, and you can jump in and out of video games. So I'm kind of familiar with it as a superpower. It's a fucking weird superpower, I give you that. But it is something new. You're not doing the same shit. It's not heat vision. She's not flying. It's something new and crazy, and it may not be practical.
If it does not just apply to video games, If she can jump in and out, if she can jump in and out of any electrical device, that would be cool.
And that might be what it is. She's just now understanding this.
Yeah, if they expand it like that, as it stands right now, that shit is lame. I'm gonna go into a video game, beat the shit out of some people, and save my father and shit. Once that concludes, and as far as I know, this is only going to be the only season run of it, unless it does like So Superb they decide to bring it back and shit, which is not going to.
It's only above mediocre rating, right? You know, sadly.
And then, but what else? I mean, if she could just jump into my computer, hack it, make it do whatever, or hop into a car or whatever, or crash a plane or whatever, that would be cool. But just I'm gonna hop into your Wii system real quick and not let you play it for a week or what? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm definitely.
I get that. I think it appeals to the fanboy in everybody. I think it's a cheap trick, but
that stalker dude, fucking, like, that's some creep ass shit, man. For real, like, he was breaking into her apartment, or like he kept coming back to telling him no. Like, what the fuck is this about?
Yo, I just wanted to apologize for the last 2 times I was super creepy and busted in your apartment.
This third time, no, I know I'm supposed to be here. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you're not Charlie Kelly.
That storyline pisses me off in all kinds of different ways, but proceed.
No, I liked it, but I get it too. HRG taking the fucking front. Didn't like it. See, I know we disagree with this, but I like the fact that he had his mind wiped. It's very Heroes.
It's not just that. I don't think that he should be a central focal point.
Why not?
Because he's not. He was never meant to be that kind of a character.
But he was, as of season 1, he was. The best episode of season 1, arguably, is Company.
One of the fucking things that Heroes suffer from was that they took him out of that company role, which he was so good at, and being and he was almost like the antagonist, a part antagonist for the first season. And then they started trying to work him out and make him kind of anti-hero-ish. And then now he's just straight good guy and shit. And not saying that he's a bad good guy. He was just a better bad guy.
But is he really good right now, or is he just forget his true nature?
I don't know. With the whole memory wipe shit, that's why it's like, man, what the fuck ever. And then, like, knowing how smart he is, if he was smart enough to get his mind wiped, he would also have some kind of way to, like, if he needed to get his shit back or figure out what the fuck happened, he would have, like, some kind of care package or something. Like, hey, just in case, whatever, here's a fucking briefcase under the bed. All you gotta do is look at these photos and you'll figure out what the fuck happened.
Unless he really didn't want to remember.
That's some bullshit. Why would you not want to remember the end of the world is coming?
Why would you want to remember if it's tied to the death of your daughter?
Like, and that's another, oh, God, thank you for bringing that up. Oh, my God. After everything we saw Claire survive and go through in 4 seasons of Heroes, you're going to tell me an explosion killed her?
I like this for 2 reasons. One, she was the indestructible cheerleader, saved the cheerleader,
indestructible till an explosion.
But you had that motif for the first season, or the first show, and this one you kill her off in the beginning, it lets you know anything can happen and some shit's different. Number 2,
bullshit.
They couldn't get Hayden Panettiere, so you might as well. And I think it's a good
They could have recasted her. No. They could have recasted her and made up some bullshit story. Plastic surgery. We're beyond the days
of I Dream of Jeannie where you just switch out fucking Dick York with Dick Sargent.
No, we're not. They're about to cast Boba Fett as Michael B. Jordan and shit. After they are
piss fucking fire over that fucking movie if that shit happens.
I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, like, if they're just going to recast a motherfucker and shit like that, they can recast fucking Claire and shit.
That's just a rumor. But
she doesn't even have to be dead though. She didn't, just because they couldn't get her back. They could have wrote her into something else. She's immortal. Her and Sylar are both. They're both immortal. They're both out there. And once you get more into the next couple seasons and shit, next couple episodes. What happened if they
blew her head off? Survive that shit. She's a talking head? No, she's dead.
Blow her head off? Maybe. But I still don't even see that, because even when she had a fucking spike rammed through her shit, fucking all you had to do was pull that bitch out.
Yeah, because her head was still attached.
But still, I mean, you put a bullet in her head, unless you totally blow her head off or cut it off, and she still looked like she had a head on the body that they saw in the morgue. It wasn't decapitated at all. She had her head and there wasn't nothing in it, and he knows that. Check her for wounds and all that shit. They're basically just trying to say the explosion alone is what killed her. I bet she better still be alive, because that's corny as fuck.
I like it from the storytelling point of view.
It's corny.
An indestructible cheerleader that was such a focal point from the first show is dead. And you begin the show like that, that's letting you know that all fucking bets are off. I think that's an interesting way of saying this is new.
Then what happened to Sylar? Sylar dead too? You know Sylar's not dead, bro.
No, because he's a prima fucking don and he thinks he's too good for fucking Heroes.
Well, but his character, fuck him. I mean, the dude, Zach Levy, looks just fucking like him, or is that his name?
Yeah.
He looks just fucking like him. He could have...
Well, Sylar could morph, so you could easily
exactly, yeah, he's got to say, yeah, you could have easily got around that. He's just not going back to that. The Sylar personality is dead. You just showed a Zachary Quinto wanted poster or whatever and shit, looking for. Goes back to that. They could have easily had him still on.
You can say like he changed so many times he doesn't remember how to go back to his old form. You can throw it away with one line.
And you'll see in a minute, man, because like you've only seen the first two, and they're like, I haven't seen the fifth one, but the next two episodes they make Siler gets a name drop, and it's in relation to Molly Walker, and it's. I'll wait to get your thought. It pisses me off.
I'll catch up tonight then. Yeah. I'll make that over.
Like, I'm pissed off about this shit. But the Claire thing, the Peter as well. I mean, maybe we'll start getting some details on this shit, because even though Peter doesn't have all of the abilities like he had in season 1 or whatever and shit, he still has the ability to get healing if he needs it. As long as he knows somebody needs it, he can go heal something and shit. He gets an arm blown off and go. Fine, call Claire. Hey, I need to use your shit real quick. Regenerate my arm.
Right. You know what I'm saying? How convenient is that?
They used it like that. That's why it was a shitty ass plot device when they used it the first time.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That whole idea and shit. But if Claire is dead from a simple explosion, that kind of undermines their whole regenerative thing or whatever. Like if she's gonna be dead, they need to really explain how she's dead, because we saw her survive mad shit, bro. Mm-hmm. She got fucking shot, fucking burned, fucking thrown out of buildings, and not only just her, we've seen people, Siler as well, with the regeneration power and shit, survive crazy amounts of shit, more than fucking explosion, or at least the same impact magnitude.
She survived a nuclear explosion in season fucking 1.
So Peter survived he blew up and regenerated.
He was the nuclear.
He was the nuclear bomb.
Yeah, and all he did was lose his memory for a season.
No, they stole his memory.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
They stole his memory and shit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah.
But he flew up into the air, fucking Nathan flew him up in the air, blew the fuck up. I don't think there's any brain left after that. And regenerated, came back, and caught his brother before he hit the ground.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
You got some continuity problems with Claire being dead, son. I'm not digging that at all.
I'll give that to you.
And once you see these other two episodes, it'll be really interesting to hear, because they're trying to do some fuckboy shit with Molly Walker. They're trying to do some fuckboy shit. You already know what her power is. You can kind of think about how it can be used for nefarious purposes and shit. The way they're trying to make it nefarious this time, which is not even a factor now, but you'll figure that out.
So I can't give it a fair grade then, so fair enough. Yeah. What would you give it?
For me, to be honest, it's borderlining on the failure point for me. I'm contemplating pulling out, but won't pull out just because I want to be able to have something. I want to see it through. I'm a hardcore Heroes fan. Even though they fell off after season 1, I was still very dedicated to the franchise and the characters and shit. I was really invested in it. And I want to see the show do good. It's not like I want to see it fail or anything. I think it's a little cheesy, and it's not really satisfying my creative desires. It's not really engaging me at all. The story the story itself seems okay, I guess, other than a certain couple elements. It's not cohesive enough for me, and it's just like the Claire thing is really throwing me off, and a couple other details that I don't want to spoil for instance. There's a couple of other little things that are just pissing me off about shit, and it's just making it hard to get into. Maybe bringing Hero back into it will reinvigorate it, kind of be that real bridge back to the other heroes and shit.
Enough, yeah, he was, yeah.
Because he's really like a major game. He was one of my favorite characters from that series. Yeah. So
one of the only people to ever drop Chrono Trigger on a fucking name drop. On his big episode of season 4, he dropped Chrono Trigger. So
biggest
Heroes
Chrono Trigger fan ever.
Always gonna be cool with me. So I think that takes care of all the shows that we're watching
everything.
Right now. Yeah.
For the
we got Supergirl coming up soon. This week. Or no, next week.
No, the week after next. It's next Monday.
Okay.
Not this Monday coming up. So 2 Mondays. The second Monday will be
which I'm more cautiously than optimistic, but cautiously optimistic about. I see potential in it,
and I'll give it half a season.
Mm-hmm. That's only 13 episodes too, I think.
Is it?
I think.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Well, if it's only 13, I'll stick with it the same way I'll do with Heroes, because it ain't that much to get through. And
right.
But also Jessica Jones is coming out. So are you?
I have no emotional attachment to it.
Neither
so
do I. I'll check it out
either.
just because I want to have an opinion on
And
it.
you paid the way to let me take you on face value with Daredevil, so you can make Barney
Right.
the superhero show,
Right.
and I'll be down for it. So
I can't wait for the Daredevil season.
yes, and that looks.
I'm
that's
hearing a
looking
lot of good things.
Yes, me too.
And the Sizzle Reel did wonders too. It did the right mix of showcasing just a little bit of things and then kind of keeping you like just wet your tongue.
Emphasis on little bit.
Yeah,
it was
just a
like one of the
little bit,
biggest teases I think I've seen
nice,
in a teaser.
nice teaser.
I don't know if it was nice, but it was enough to get me going. Like, God damn it! I want
And
more.
after the characterization, like I'm really excited for the Punisher because of how they did such a good characterization, not only for Daredevil but for Kingpin.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they did such a good characterization for that. I can't wait to see how they characterize the Punisher and whatever threat that they're going against. Because have they even made that known?
No.
I think Punisher has been still in the spotlight. Everybody's just geeked about Punisher
Yeah.
finally getting a time to shine on this, and I hope this turns
got
into a
Elektra.
spin-off.
And we got Elektra.
Oh yeah, Elektra too.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
I forget about her too, but she's in the teaser
Yeah.
when she strapped her shit on. I'm like, oh yeah, she's in this.
Yeah, major point. I forget that every single time.
And this is our first
Yeah.
time seeing Punisher in a sandbox like that. We've seen 2 movies with Punisher with throwaway villains.
Right.
And now we get to see him in a sandbox where you have Daredevil,
And I hope
Elektra,
it leads to a
possibly
spin-off.
the
That would be
Kingpin.
awesome.
And then he needs his own show before
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, if you ask
Yeah,
me.
he did really. Yeah.
But we got
100%.
him coming in. You're catapulting him off of Daredevil.
He didn't even need a catapult. You could have just gave him his own series. I don't know why they're doing the Jessica Jones shit, whatever. Just trying to get the female audience, I guess, into the superhero.
Which
shit.
Marvel's is severely lacking in right now. So.
And they're not making it any better pushing back Captain Marvel, which I wouldn't get geeked about anyway.
Me neither. I can see that how it was a slap in the face because it was really some movie that was retaliatory against Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
DC came out with
That's the
theirs,
way.
yeah.
That's the way it kind of felt.
And now you're pushing it back and adding the Wasp at the end of Ant-Man 2 is not giving us the female villain or the superhero role. Like your Black Widow's been around since fucking 2008.
I understand that Ant-Man performed better than they expected it to.
Yeah.
But they're really trying to ride that. But they should leave Ant-Man alone.
Yeah. Leave Ant-Man alone.
They should leave it alone. Like I watched the movie. It wasn't that great. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was a throwaway movie, and I don't think it honestly has rewatch value because I watched it. I've seen it twice, and that really not much.
I don't think it has rewatch value. Even though
I watched it
once.
once on my own bootleg, and then I took my son to see it because he was interested in seeing it. So I had to watch it. I had to sit through it twice or whatever. But with that being said, it doesn't have much rewatch value. Kind of like Thor 2.
Yeah. Not a bad movie, but not an enjoyable one either.
Well, we'll have to get to that another day.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we're gonna wrap shit up.
Yeah.
We did pretty decent. I mean, not for the half hour, but for the hour, I think we did decent.
We did.
Yeah, we did good.
We did. I think the hour is kind of a comfortable setting, but it just makes it easier and accessible for other people to get to in a shorter time frame.
But I think most podcasts are an hour anyway, and fuck it, we're awesome. We're better than everybody else
getting
anyway.
paid for this shit too.
Yeah, pay us, goddammit. We'll get paid for shit. Now Superman, Batman, not nothing. Geek Master shit. God damn it.
But there you have it, man. We'll wrap it up there. Just leave it as is. If you guys got anything to say, add to the conversation, please feel free. Leave a comment, follow, get at us, whatever, man. We love to have everybody involved in the conversation. Makes it that much funner. You guys are the reason why we do it. So keep that in mind, and guess we'll see you next time.
I'm going to plug some shit real quick before we sign off. Check us out always at Superman vs. Batman. DC Extended Universe for myself, Geek Master here for the Geek Master. Starting up a new webpage called Nerdum News. Going to cover all things nerd, video games, comic books, anime, etc., etc. It's going to be a webpage right now. It's just on Facebook. Check us out there. I think that's really everything. Superman, Batman, DC Extended Universe. Check out Geek Master, Nerdum News. New DC Comic Universe, another page we're both on. Check them all out. We're fucking all over Facebook. We're sluts, and we really don't have much time on our hands, so we're going to be everywhere. But that's all for me. Sensei signing off. Thanks for listening. Fucking Geek Master, anything else to...
Check it out, Turbo Sluts!
There it is.
And I'm out.
Peace.
Love you.